Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's your girl Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. We are here with another amazing day. I hope yesterday's message was great for you. I did give us a more recent throwback, um, where it was within my 21-day challenge. And so I decided to bring that one back because not next week, but the week after, I'm gonna take that week off, and I am going to. That's what is going to be a replay. So you won't get any live. I just want to start to, put things like in seasons, and just take like a little hiatus for a week. And this way, we can just not recycle, but replay a lot of those episodes. So those episodes will replay on all of my social media. But yeah, so that is something that I wanted to share and update with everyone. But yeah, so let's get into it. So first of all, let me tell y'all about my life. My baby is not here today. I had to send Jelly. Well, I sent Jelly Bean to training. He went to school. Right, Jelly Bean has to go to school because Jelly Bean is a street dog, and unfortunately, my street dog doesn't have manners sometimes, and so I decided to send him to training, right? Because he needs it, and I want him to be the best boy that he can possibly be, because he deserves that. The other thing that I want to quickly talk to you about is this webinar, this masterclass I am doing. Um, Doing one tomorrow and then doing the second one. It's the same masterclass. I'm just doing them live 2 times. I might add a third time because I did not do my proper due diligence with the one for tomorrow. So even if people do not sign up and join, I will still record it, because sometimes you just need that extra content. But yeah, so I just want to show this real quick. Again, this is going to be, um, it is Unmute Your Purpose, where we focus on your clarity, your confidence, and helping you to align for the next steps. This is a free masterclass that I am doing. You do have two choices. You have Saturday, tomorrow, the 23rd of May, and then you have Tuesday, June 3rd. One is in the morning, morning Central Time at 11 o'clock a.m. And then you also have the option to join Tuesday. And we're basically really focusing on just why so many women feel disconnected from their purpose, right? Despite having to do all the work. And when we talk about the work, we're talking about healing and self-reflection and doing all those different amazing works that we need to do, and helping you to identify and release the old narratives that are blocking your clarity. So it's going to be a really, really great masterclass. I do recommend, and like I said, if this is something that's up your alley, guys, fellas, you can even join in too, right? The more the merrier. Everyone needs to know about their purpose. So I do encourage you. The links are down in the descriptions, and you will be able to register 100% free, no collections, nothing. So join us over there tomorrow or next Tuesday. Oops, sorry, my hand is itching. Okay, so let me start sharing. But yes, that is what I wanted to share with everyone. So let's talk about today's topic. Today's topic came to mind because his name is Haitian CEO on Instagram, and I met him. I want to say 3 years ago now. Yeah, 2022. When I went to a master class that MG the Mortgage Guy put together in Brooklyn, and been following Haitian CEO ever since. And he had posted something, today's Friday, so I want to say Wednesday night or Wednesday, and I just seen it Wednesday night, and it was talking about prayer, and a lot of us are praying too small. And he was like, he's starting a June. I don't know if it's in June or if he's just starting 30 days of delusional prayer. And I just found that to be really interesting because I have gone through like a season of research where I followed a lot of the people that spoke about like how they manifest, or how they prayed for everything that they wanted and they received it. And a few of them do like talk about being delusional. Like, no, you need to be delusional. You want to be delusional because it's going to get anything that we want. And it makes me think about Jelly Bean because I was a little delusional to think, like I can get this dog back, right? So I'm just gonna quickly share this for those of you that don't know. So Jelly Bean is my now dog. I've known Jelly Bean for over a year and a half. And yeah, since I moved to Tulsa. And when I was leaving to go to Columbia at the beginning of this year, I did not see Jelly Bean. Jelly Bean was missing. Because he's not my dog, and my neighbors, they don't have any, like, they don't know where he's at. He was never chipped. Um, I just had to just keep it in God's hands, and I just prayed that Jelly Bean would be okay. And when I came back home, we still could not find Jelly Bean. He was like nowhere to be found. And I remember the week before I found him, I said to God, I said, if you, for any way that you see this to be fit, can make a way for me to find this dog, I will keep the dog and I will take the dog. I will do that. And it was a really strange out the blue. I mean, the last time I saw him was December 27th. No one in the neighborhood had seen him. No one knew where he was at. So it was quite like, I felt like it was going to be super unlikely until I put that prayer out. And 2 days later, I found Jelly Bean. And it's like, when I tell people that, like, if God can help me to find a dog that went missing 4 months ago, and he made that happen, right? And he made that happen because I listened, right? This wasn't because I was just out here just being I had to do certain things, right? I had to, whatever God pressed on my heart, and that was to do a Google reverse search of his image, and that's how I found him. Now, we're going to talk about this, but that's where a lot of people would have missed the blessing. They would not have received it because it didn't make sense, right? Even when I told someone, it was like, really? So God told you to do that? People don't never believe when I say these things. But if the end result was I found my dog, then that's it. Enough is enough. Like, that's it. Case closed. Like, God does all things. If he can help me to find a dog 4 months later, yeah, he can do all things. Yep, I believe that. And so I want to talk to us about that today because I feel like a lot of people don't pray big enough, right? A lot of us have really small prayers because a lot of you have small expectations. You don't expect God to show up and do big things for you. Like, you don't. And unfortunately, that is going to become a hindrance for a lot of people because you want these big things, but you still do not believe that God can give you these big things. So you keep focusing on the small prayers, right? And the small prayers, 9 times out of 10, it's not really God even doing anything. It's what you're capable of doing. Like, I want to get all of us to the space where we start saying, God, I'm not even I know what I can do within my limits. But I want to see what you can do within yours. Right? If I wanted to go get a bottle of lotion right now, I can get up, go to the store, right? And I can go find me a bottle of lotion, right? That's within my rights. But if I sat here and was like, God, I need a size that don't even exist, something that is like totally hard to find, you never find it, it's like not commonly found, and you found it because God made it happen. That's what I'm talking about. That's where we got to get back to. We got to get back to that. So we are not praying big enough because we're not expecting big. And I want us to all expect big. Stop expecting small. Right? We only start praying for what we think we can handle. Right? And that's another problem. Right? You asking for what you can handle instead of realizing what God can do. He can do all things. And I feel like a lot of us have that fear of, no, he could do all things, but he can't do that. What? You crazy? Get that out your mind, right? So that is the first thing. Your small prayers is because you have small expectations. So the next thing is that, and I started to mention this earlier, about logic, right? When I told everyone how I found Jelly Bean, I prayed about it that Thursday or Friday, and Sunday morning, God told me to do a Google reverse image search of one of his pictures that I had. And I found the post, which led me to finding Jelly Bean. That part of, so God told you to do that, that doesn't make sense. This is what I hear quite often from people because people don't believe me. And I keep telling them, I have nothing to lose, right? I have nothing to lose. God is going to do everything. And once I had to get out of my logical mind, I was able to start receiving abundance and favor in the most magical ways. Like it's like magic because some days it's like, wait, God, you just did that? And it's all because you have to be a little delusional. And when you are a little delusional, that means that you have to shrink your logic. If you are delusional, you now have to shrink your logic because it's not going to happen logically. That's it. So I want you to get to that point where you start realizing that and you're like, okay, let me stop thinking that faith means that it's going to make sense. Like, faith is not common sense, right? And you don't have to have any form of permission from anyone to believe big, right? People are going to tell you this is the reason why you got to get into the circles of people, inspirational trailblazers, where we are believing a little bit big. We're not believing on the scope of what everyone else is telling us that we should be believing, right? So it's really to that point. It's not going to be the logical mind. If you're logical, I'm sorry, you're going to struggle with this. And you're going to probably be listening to this video, or you might just turn it off, and that's fine. But I ask that you stay here because I want you to get to a point where you just start taking a chance and saying, for the heck of it, let me go ahead and at least, put that big prayer out there and see what happens. I've known people that have done that. They put the prayer out there. They left it alone. They didn't think about it. They didn't touch it. Next thing you know, it just came to pass. And you're like, wait, yeah, because that's the bonus. The bonus is we can't sit around and keep looking at it and just keep trying to watch it, right? It's just like any kind of plant, any kind of flower. You're gonna sit here and frustrate yourself because you're gonna sit here and try to watch it for 24 hours, for 60 hours, for 48 hours, and nothing is happening because your naked eye cannot see it. Sometimes you gotta go and plant it and then walk away and then come back and be like, oh my gosh, right? I'm dramatic. Don't judge me. All right. So that is the second thing. God is not limited to your logic. Your logic and God's logic, they're not the same logic. The next thing that I want you to do, and I want you to think about and remember why we need delusional faith, right? We need delusional faith because faith is going to disrupt what is in the natural, right? So delusional faith is faith that disrupts the natural. That's what delusional faith is. Because the natural world is telling us, in order for you to make $100,000 a year, you have to go to school and get a degree. You got to go get a certificate. You need to go get a master's, and then you can make $100,000. And then you have some that's like, okay, in order for you to live comfortable, you need to make at least this amount of money. And there's just be so many different things, and it's like, no, why not? Why not be that person that is a little bit afraid to say, you know what, God, I don't have a master's. I don't have any form of degrees, but I know I have the ability to do this job. And I'm going to go out here and I'm going to do what I need to do. And it's going to scare me a little bit because look, when you start praying a delusional and you start walking in a delusional faith, your prayers are going to possibly scare you because that's how big it is. And, when I think about the job market is one of the easiest places where we find people are afraid. They are afraid, all right? Because it's like I said, they don't have all the requirements, or they didn't go to the top 10 school and they're in their field. Like, they put all of this. And I just want you to know that is not how it's going to work for you. Don't put God in a box. Don't put yourself in a box, right? Just because society says this is the norm, when we start walking and operating in faith, and then we start adding delusional faith, that means that God can open up any door and he can put us in any spaces despite all of the requirements that were placed on you. Right. So sometimes we really do have to say, right. And I don't even like to say, well, no. So this is probably the one few times that I would say I use the word if. I have a really big thing about using like if, because if is a form of doubt, right? And so when you say if this happens, but in this case, when it comes to God, because you know what, I will say sometimes God will not give us our prayers because of the fact that He knows what's best for us. So some of us might be out here praying for stuff and we're not getting it because God already knows if I give this to you, this is not going to be a good thing. Right. So this is why we say if it's in your will, and then you fill in the blank. Right. But I feel like the big things really don't be that big or that crazy. But I think because society has instilled these notions into us, a lot of people still keep believing that it is not possible. So I just really wanted to touch on that. But again, I am here, or I think I have a prompt for y'all. I didn't write it down. Sorry. I wrote it down. I didn't put it in my computer. But what prayer have you avoided praying because you thought it was too big or too wild, right? What prayer have you been avoiding because you believe that it is too big, too wild, too crazy, too out the box? Like, oh my gosh, God is never going to do that. And I want you to reflect on that. And if that is set on your heart, like if you really want that, and you really want that, then I want you to go ahead. I want you to go into that prayer. I'm going to be doing June. I'm doing June prayers of delusion. And I'm joining Haitian CEO with that because, yeah, I feel like, I won't say the finding jelly beans like a delusional prayer. I feel like anything is definitely possible, but I do believe that there's some things that I have been avoiding talking to God about because it's like, is this really possible? Is this really meant for me? You start having these like little doubt conversations. So this is one of the things. And then I can put you in contact. Like I said, his name is Haitian_CEO. He is on Instagram and I believe he's on all other social media. He does like finances, but look for that post. He was walking and he was talking about it. And so, if that's something that you're looking for something to be very intentional for the next 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, you can talk to God and, pray that delusional prayer and just watch God do what God does. But again, do not get into this logical mindset. Don't get into this doubtful mindset. Just continue to believe like, okay, I believe that God can do this. So I am your girl, Tanisha Shanae. We're here back next week, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Central. If you need to connect with me, also my link tree is down below. So you can go ahead and connect with me about my books, my community, my courses, even my blog. So I love you guys. Have an amazing day today on purpose. Have a great weekend. Be safe wherever you're located. I know the United States right now, weather-wise, I think Atlanta just had a tornado yesterday. I hope and pray everyone who was in that is safe. And I know that where else was there? I saw something else. I don't know if it was another tornado, probably closer to my side. Yeah. Oklahoma, we get tornadoes like on a random Tuesday at 2:00 in the afternoon. Let me stop saying that. Well, I'm sorry. Please don't let that happen next Tuesday at 2:00 p.m. or a.m. All right. So I am your girl, Tanisha Shanae. I love you guys. Have an amazing day on purpose, with purpose. And as always, God loves you.